Hello everyone, Philip from Blackpool Markets here, and it's been a long time since we made one of these, but we have another market update for you. We have been very active with our Trade in 60 Seconds videos, so do have a look at them. You should be able to find the playlist on our YouTube and also on our Instagram, and especially our Twitter. We're quite active on our Instagram and our Twitter, so do give us a follow. The links will be provided later on in the end of the video, so do stick all the way through, and let's hope you enjoy it. We'll dive into it and show you what we have coming leading up to NFP. So we'll go through all the US pairs, the Canadian pairs, because as we know, we do have the NFP coming out. We also have the employment changes for Canada and also unemployment rate for Canada as well. So that's also the one pair we won't be trading is the USD CAD, because it will have a bit of influence on the news on those both pairs. So this could cause a little bit of uncertainty in the market. So we'll manage our risk and avoid those pairs. This is just my personal opinion. If you would like to trade those pairs, there will be movement in it. You can feel free to do so, as you have free will to do. But we'll dive into it. We'll take a look at a couple of pairs we have, and we'll see what we have. So first, starting off with this is the Aussie CAD. It's a 4-hour time frame, so we'll be looking for small zones to trade, because as we know, the NFP will cause a quick, nice move for us in the market. Well, it usually does. So we'll be looking for sort of day trades, finishing off the trading session just before a couple hours into the US session. So we do have this nice strong support. We've got marked out here to be at the moment we're seeing it here at 0.93150, which is a nice psychological level. So it's stalled there a couple of times. You can see it caused a bit of resistance previous, and again resistance again. If we do take our Fibonacci, we could perhaps even see one here as well. So you can see it is coming close to the 38.2%, did sort of come just a little bit below it, but it is also above the 50% as well. So this is a nice sort of consolidation zone that we can look for the market to either find support on or start to move below it when it comes close to the NFP, and then maybe break past lower. So at the options we have, if it breaks to the upside, we'll just quickly get rid of this. We can see that we have a bit of resistance here that we can hit. This is around about let me actually get the line so we can see the prices. This is about the 0.9366 level, so we can see that offered previous support, a little bit of consolidation, and here obviously there's massive consolidation with all the wick tests as well. We can see resistance here, and then the market came down. So we could see a nice move in between the zone. However, if it does break lower following the NFP, we can look for this sort of zone here. This will be not so favoritive. Is that what you call it? Maybe will not be the best place to trade. You can see there is a bit of consolidation and uncertainty in the market, so it could cause a nice support area. So if it does reach here, just make sure, if you were looking to trade in this zone to the downside, make sure you manage it well. Same for the upside, but we can see if it does go up, there's a nice clear path. And then moving on to our Canadian dollar Swiss franc. So again, we've got a nice resistance being reached. You can see it is being broken, but it is still moving inside this channel to the upside. Not the greatest channel. We can see we had a couple of fake breakouts. It is sort of a sideways consolidation as well. If we can pull this up over here, so you can see here a bit of sideways movement. If we get rid of this too, you can see here it's moving in between these. So ideally, we'd want the market to sort of perhaps come back into the zone as the hourly time frame. Maybe having a look at the daily, you can see it was also moving in this big downward, almost looks like a downward channel. We'll just quickly get rid of all this and see if we can actually find a channel here for the market to trade in. So yeah, so on the daily, a nice little channel. So we could see it move up to this higher zone over here. Also, you can see it'll probably find resistance on this previous support. For it to hit and then come back down using this NFP. If it does come down, you can see it is a bit of traffic on the side over here. So hopefully there is a nice move, but ideally we want to try and stay away from pairs that don't have a lot of movement space. You can see we have this resistance approaching, and then obviously comes to the downside, we have consolidation approaching. However, we can see to the downside we have actually had some quite nice moves following a retracement like these. It's very similar every time. You can see here with the structure sort of starts off nice and even, then it kind of retraces a bit, it goes back up again. Similar here, starts off, comes back, goes up. So hopefully we can see a move to here, and then a nice move to the downside depending on on the releases from Canadian news. So in my opinion, I usually don't use the news to say which way the market's going to go. I rather use the news to know that it's going to be movement in the market. So I always have a look at, I use Forex Factory. That's just the easiest way to see. I'll just pull it up over here. You can see it's a nice, right there, forexfactory.com /calendar.php. So just you can use this. This is, I find it quite helpful just when I do have a look at the chart and look for movements. You can see there are different news releases. Obviously, let's actually pull this back up again. So we can see a different categories. So depending on the color, red meaning you can see a high impact news, and obviously gray like this one over here, not really much. So obviously you can see bank holiday in China. Markets would have been quiet, so not a lot of movement in the market. And then the NFP, unemployment rate, average hourly earnings, the employment change for Canada, employment rate for Canada as well has high impact. So these generally cause the market to move. Last time I did make a video on it where we did live trading on the NFP. You can see the market didn't move much. That's because we had a bad NFP. So new jobs introduced was low, but unemployment rate was also lower than expected. So they kind of balance each other out. Didn't create a lot of movement in the market. But moving on to the charts, we'll continue on. So again, inside this channel, hopefully you have some movements. If it does break out, just keep in mind we have this resistance over here. So consolidation zone in here. Again, hopefully a nice little move. And then once again, we have sort of this support resistance at the top. If it breaks lower, hopefully we can see a move down to the channel, keeping in mind we do have actually a nice support here as well. So this could be a nice move from here to this lower part. Obviously if you want to trade on the 30-minute time frame, that'll be a nice quick move. You can see it's sort of at a double top, but this will depending on what this pattern does, coming closer to NFP, which is a couple of hours away. So moving on to our Euro US dollar. So have a look. So Euro US dollar sort of in a bit of a bad movement actually, but this is the daily. So if we just zoom in a bit, we'll have a look at, so we can see the previous candle of that day did have a very nice range of movement. We do have a support at the resistance at the top, and also very interesting here we have this nice move to the upside. Candle came down, retested this support area, and then moved up. We did have a test of this wick into that zone, and then the candle broke to the upside, taking out that wick as well. A nice little wick fill from this candle, using the momentum of the previous day's movement. So if we take it down to the lower time frame, what can we be potentially looking for? A nice move in here. So we can see it's this range that we have here is around about 90 pips. So on a 30-minute time frame, it's a good area to trade. At the moment, nothing too ideal. We want to wait for the market to wake up a bit. So just before the US Open will be a good time, and then wait for the NFP announcement for the nice movements. So again, between this consolidation, not really that much to look for. Hopefully, if it does break to the upside further, continuing this momentum, we can see a move here to this resistance over here, around about the 1.14140 level. So that could be a nice move. To the downside, you can see lots of traffic, a nice double bottom as well. So yeah, beware of the downside. Up looks good if it does go to the upside. Just keep an eye on that. So moving on to our pound dollar. So pound has actually been very interesting. We all know Theresa May has resigned, looking for a new prime minister, and also Donald Trump just visited there as well. So GBP USD, we can see nice resistance we've hit. And also it's a bit of a consolidation. We've had it previously as well. So you can see here, consolidated between the zone, found support, resistance again, more resistance tests. So the wicks, you can see that wick test in there as well, and we use it in our support. So in the 4-hourly time frame, you can see there is a zone of about 40 pips, which could be nice. Ideally, we'd want this to break above this. We can see there's not much traffic to the left besides this section over here, but we could actually see it fill this wick over here, which is also another 80 pip move if it does break above. So that could be nice coming into the announcement. If it does break low, we can see a couple of stops along the way. So ideally on 30-minute, we want it to break to the upside. However, if it does break lower, we can have shorter trades, like 20 pips, and but they can get a bit more stressful. So to the downside, it's a bit messy. So hopefully it does go up. If it doesn't, and it continues to the downside, we could actually possibly see a head and shoulders form, and this could play out nicely for next week, using this as the left shoulder, the neckline, the head, the neckline again, and down to the right shoulder, and looking for another trade to the upside. If it does break lower, potential at our bottom. Looking on the daily time frame, we can see we are at a nice strong support, so we'll draw this in here as well. You can see we had these base of the candles, wick test into that zone, pulled back, so a nice strong support following this area over here also, which is on that shoulder, that left shoulder we were talking about, potential left shoulder. Moving on to our USD JPY. So this USD JPY has actually been in a very strong move to the downside. Just get rid of all these squares over here and these lines. We'll keep this one because we are at a very nice support. So hopefully we can see there is a very nice area to move in. So we can just pull this, use this square to sort of have a zone, and we can have this one down here, knowing that this is our support. And then moving out to the 4-hourly time frame, we can see nice moves to the downside. You can see we have a very strong support. The market keeps testing it, fails to do so, and sort of created on the hourly. We can see it started to create a bit of a consolidation zone. So ideally, we wanted to break this consolidation zone before deciding on which way to go. If it does break lower, we have this very nice zone to fill as well. It's unlikely that it'll fill the zone, as this was a sort of a flash crash essentially. You can see it as a big move with a candle opening at the 108.849 and then closing, well, moving all the way down to around about the 104.890 level, which is 400 pips. So that was a big move, and then retraced all the way, creating the zone for the market to move in. So it could find a struggle to reach it, but if it does come in here, we could actually see it move quite nicely following NFP. Also to the upside, a nice quick movement. We have this clear candle for it to fill as well. Not a lot of traffic, so we'll wait for this consolidation to break out. We have a bit of a trend line here as well to the upside, not complete trend line, but sort of a support line going to the upside. So this could be a nice area, but ideally we'd want it to break below or above this consolidation zone before making any set decisions on which way you want to trade it. And the final one is the gold. This is my favorite pair actually to have on my charts when NFP is happening, because it moves fantastic. You can see recently as well we've had great moves to the upside. A lot of people have actually been trading this, and they really enjoyed it. So hopefully we'll see a nice move in gold, getting rid of all these lines quickly. There it is. You can see a nice double top, very strong resistance here, and then obviously we had this big move break out of this sort of wedge pattern that we had as well. So that was a very nice move to the upside, catching that to there. But now moving on to the present time, hopefully we can see a move within this zone, which is a very nice clean zone, no traffic. However, if we do look on the lower time frames, we can see there is a little bit of support / resistance for the market to clear before sort of making before we should ideally be making decisions. So again, sort of consolidating. Remember, if you're looking at the lower time frames, always keep the higher time frames in mind. We could see it struggle to break this, as it was a very significant level back in February. And let's have a look on the weekly. You can see it as a very, very strong resistance we're reaching. So this could as well be a nice turnaround point for the market to come back down again, losing gold's value. So, but if it does break higher, we could see something quite violent. I wouldn't be happy until it breaks at least around about here, which is a 135.60. Oh, sorry, 135.90, 135.9 level. This is a very, very strong resistance. So until it breaks, then we will probably be looking for moves within these areas below this zone as well. But if it does break it, like I said, we can expect something very extreme, because it has not been broken in a very long time. Back since 2016, we can see that was the high. Moving on to January 2018, it did a test again, and now it looks like it's approaching again. So could turn around or could give us that very violent explosion. I do not believe this NFP will make it break that. If it is good or not, bad for the dollar. Either way, there is a lot of nice movement. So wait for it to break the zone either below or potentially to the upside before making any set decisions. But yeah, that is it for this video. It has been a long time since we've done it, so I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you do have any questions or anything, do let us know. If you have any questions about the video, pop it down in the comments below and we'll get back to you. Or if you want, you can contact us by going to blackwellmarkets.com, click on the little green button at the top that says live chat. If you prefer to contact us via email over the weekend, please do so. You can send us an email at support@blackwellmarkets.com. We'll get back to you as soon as possible. All right, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. From everyone here at Blackwell Markets, safe trading and enjoy the NFP.